Hello, you are listening to KQBH LP, Los Angeles, California, 101.5 FM, a community service of Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory. This, ladies and gentlemen, is The Conversation. You were just listening to Sound Fever, and they just have a variety of music every week. I love that show. But now we're turning to The Conversation, where every week I try to have a guest in, and I've been very lucky this year so far, having artists and musicians and creatives and, all types coming in, talking about their life and their story and going beyond the arts. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have Mars Rodriguez here on The Conversation. Mars!
Hello!
How are you?
Very good, and you?
Doesn't matter how tired I get throughout the week. This show kind of revitalizes me. Both shows that I have. Cool. But yeah, but coming in and talking about just music and life in general with guests every week, it energizes me. So
it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, I will get into how I discovered you, as a lot of that with a lot of the guests that I've had on here comes from social media. Okay. But before that, why don't you tell the people where they can follow you on social media, where they can listen to your music, any streaming sites? Yeah,
you can follow me on IG and Facebook. You only have to type Mars Rodriguez _ And you can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, of course. And wait for the album. I'm going to be releasing my debut album at the end of this year. It's currently being mixed, so wait for it. And that's the dealio.
So, Mars, I found you on Instagram. People link people's accounts, and you find out who they are. And there are a lot of really good bands that I've discovered through Instagram, through friends, going to, I went to go check out this band last night. And I was like, who are you? That's how I found your music. And, you have a very energetic, account. And as you will know, listeners, ladies and gentlemen, she is very energetic in general. She's just a very fun person, and her show that I saw on Thursday, that was kind of like I wanted to see her show before we chatted. I didn't know about this, but Joe from Audiobond said, "Hey, she's playing on Thursday." I'm like, "What? Perfect, let's do it." And that was like just a quite impressive show. And we will definitely get into that. But it's interesting because with me, and I'm kind of a music snob, but music production is good, but it doesn't tell the whole story. And I like going to watch bands live. That adds to it. And now you're in here, and we get to hear the whole story. So I'm very excited about this night. So how are you? How is the music scene, everything going for you right now?
Well, right now, super good. Like, we're coming back from COVID. So right now it's like, shows, go, go. Mm-hmm. And I'm also like finishing mixing my album. I kind of like separate myself from being the producer and the performer, because there are like two different like scenarios there. Mm-hmm. When you're producing is like another mindset, and when you're performing is another mindset. Anyways, it's kind of trippy to explain it in like words, but like right now I'm just coming back to shows, and it's been good so far. Like you have to keep going in life no matter what's going on. That's at least how I like to like approach music. No matter what, like, let's just keep moving forward and like stay open to learning new things, because that's all we can do, right? Yeah. And so far so good. Like, I cannot complain at all. So far so good. Just having like good shows and like about to release new music. I'm very excited.
So let's rewind the tape a little bit. Yeah. You're native to LA for only the past 4 years. Yeah. And you've gone everywhere. You have a very interesting history that we started to talk about before your show. And I not only talk about whatever you want to. Obviously, you don't have to talk about whatever you don't want to talk about here. But I personally think it's an interesting history. What I want to know is, how does that travels? How did that get you into music, and how did any of that inspire you to become a musician and an artist?
Okay, so let's go back when I was 14. I mean, even before. I learned to play the guitar when I was 10, and then I had my first band when I was 14. It was a metal band, and It was a cover band. Nice. I was living in Nicaragua, by the way. Then that band like broke up, right? And then I had like my first band like making like music, original music, when I was 17. I stayed with that band like for 6 years, and then we broke up. And then I was like, and I'm just gonna go and like pursue my ideas, because I had like other ideas, like more like glitchy and like fucked up.
How did you get to Los Angeles?
2018, my country goes through a big political crisis. We're dealing with dictatorship still since 2018. So I left the country one day before the country went crazy.
Wow.
One day before, yeah. So the next day I was like in the US. Everything was crazy in my country. It was like a different country, and like super bad, like a lot of like, killing people and all the things, like super bad. And then I went to Atlanta, and I stayed in Atlanta like for 6 months. When I was in Atlanta, I started like getting interested in like recording stuff, and like started recording in a closet. Like I bought like a microphone, like a Rode microphone, and just like I already had like a Focusrite thing. So I just started recording, very DIY, and I got very excited. Then I was just like, like trying to go like to the protest here in the US for the Nicaraguan stuff. So I went to Miami, I went to Washington too. And then I had like a trip to LA, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try LA for 3 months. I wasn't gonna move. And then it was just like, oh, I guess I try music here, and I started to organize myself and make like a electronic press kit, which is like, having your bio, your music and everything. But I was like super scared, because LA is like huge, and it's like, do I need to like pay somebody to get me gigs and stuff? So at the end I started sending emails, and I got like like answers, and I started playing during like 2019, and I play like a bunch of places, and I'm very grateful for every opportunity.
You have basically a one-person band, and obviously music comes in different forms, and sometimes you just need to do what you need to do. Sometimes you go with a band, and it works, it doesn't work, whatever it is. How did you come about focusing on just being a one-person ensemble? You also play like a lot of instruments, you have a lot of stuff going, and it's actually very well timed. It's not like you're just putting on one beat on a drum machine. Like I could tell that like you had changes from like a chorus to a verse.
I have transitions a lot, like everything happened very like fluid. Like I didn't think about it a lot, but I was alone in LA, and I didn't know anybody, and I was like, I'm just gonna go do it and learn how to do it. I didn't know anything about music production, to be honest. I've always been like a front woman and a guitar player. That's all. I didn't know nothing about drums. I didn't know nothing about synth, neither. I wasn't even like.
Oh, that's good that you made that jump.
Yeah,
one area, and now you're just like, I'm taking it all on.
No. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna go and learn it. I don't care if I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna learn it, and I understand that there's a process and there's a journey. So it's been like a very spiritual journey. Like I'm just gonna try. I don't care about the outcome. I'm just gonna try, and I feel good just creating. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start music production. I got inspired by two main women in the music industry, and my music is not similar to theirs, but like Grimes, and also Tash Sultana. Both of them are producers, and both of them have dealt with like the one person situation. And I remember like getting very inspired by them. Like if they can do it, I can learn. And that's basically how I started. And it was like day in, day out, and still today, day in, day out, like trying to learn how to EQ better and like how to make the drums better. I've become very obsessed with the drums sessions. It's like crazy. My drum sessions are like,
and
crazy.
It's just not like simple 808.
They're crazy. Like, I used to have a partner that was a drummer, and he even told me, like, dude, like, your drums are like, they cannot be played by normal people. This thing is like so weird. And I'm like, really? One of the things that has like impressed me during this journey is that I had like some tracks that are like not well played, but I'll use those tracks and I'll chop them or edit them, and I'll use them as a transition. Let's say from the verse to the chorus, and I'll just
That's an interesting take.
and I'll just like add like a certain like, I don't know, delay. I'll even like use like oscillators. I'm like spilling my secrets here.
No, I mean this is part of like just to nerd out on.
I'm a nerd.
Like I know this guy on Twitter, and he posts all this like synth stuff, and like to the normal person is like, where are the strings of the keys and stuff. I was like, no, you have to know all this stuff, and so to just nerd out on that and go, I want this sound, I want this piece of machinery on this. How do we make it happen? I ask all the guests to kind of curate a little bit of a playlist. So what you've heard in the back is Soda Stereo started off with Amoeba.
Yep.
And after that was Radiohead with Follow Me Around. And right now we're listening to The Garden and Shameless Shadow. But we're going to transition a little bit really quickly. We're going to play one of your tracks, Finesse.
Finesse. There you go.
Sorry, thank you for the proper pronunciation. I want to ask you about that too. I mean, obviously, like you said, you're from Nicaragua. You speak perfect Spanish, it seems, and English, and your music is in both Spanish and English. So it's like it just hits like all angles. So we'll come back. I want to talk about that, but
Frenesi. There you go.
Sorry.
There you go.
Why am I putting? Oh my!
It's all good.
I'm just tired tonight. Here we go. Frenesi.
Frenesi.
Okay, so we were just briefly talking off air about how you know several different languages.
I know 2 languages, like very good, and then a little bit of French. I can speak English and Spanish like very fluid, and French just a little bit. Yeah. How
do you decide on certain songs? Like, is it like emotion based? I can't even guess how someone would say, I'm just gonna write a French song today. It's obviously a freaking fantastic skill. Thank you. It's also impressive that you use all 3 of them in different aspects. And you were just saying too that a few of them you have Spanglish. You just go back and forth.
Basically everything I'm doing with my music, it's very like experimental and very like going with the flow. I'm just like sitting and jamming. I'll do the music first most of the time, and then words will just like flow. And I know I sound so in the air with this, but it's actually true. Like I never know what's about to happen. It's like freaking magic, like, oh, what I'm about to say, I don't know. Now, of course, deep down in my core, it might be something that I'm going through or something that I've seen on other people. Like I'm not only talking about myself. I get inspired by other people's experiences too. So I don't know. It's just it's all over the place. It's very messy.
I wouldn't say mess. Controlled chaos, maybe?
Me? I don't control anything. Like, believe me, like, I don't know what is about to happen, and it just happened. Like, today, 2 of the songs that you heard last Thursday, I wrote them, like, on Monday. And, like, I wasn't expecting. Nice. I woke up, like, at 4 a.m., and I did the drums, and I'm, like, in this period of, like, madness of, like, making drums. I don't know why. I have no control of anything. I'm just going for it. So it's very boom.
Whatever hits you at that moment.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't have one sound.
Yeah.
There's kind of like a grunge feel on one. There's like an 80s rock on the other. Synthy, dancey.
Yeah.
And that kind of just adds to your performance as well, because not only are you playing guitar, you're like orchestrating all this other music, as well as belting out, with your voice. It's like I can't imagine what that, what I can't imagine doing that myself, let alone watching someone doing it very well. And especially someone doing it very well who just wrote the song 3 freaking days ago. that's what I thought was impressive. So I hate that I ask it, but I have realized that the answers take the guests into different areas and the listeners into different areas. Stupid COVID happens.
Yeah.
You were here in refresh my memory, 2017?
No. I came at the end of 2018.
2018, okay.
Yeah.
So it was like a year and some change before COVID happens.
Yeah.
You were performing, and you said that's how you decided to stay in LA because right before you were about to leave, you got all these gigs, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let's check it out some more.
Yeah.
Things are going great until March 2020, and then everything just shuts down. What did you do to, number one, stay sane, but more importantly, to evolve, grow your music? What did that isolation do for what you're producing now?
I think it was perfect to make my EP. I released an EP on 2020, so I didn't have time to feel like bored. I was like, oh my God, every month I release a song and a video. In 2020, yeah, and I was like, I'm just gonna stick to this because I wanna learn how to mix and produce myself 100%. It was just to push myself to do it, and I did it, and I'm so happy I did it. Not only that, I also started to learn how to film and edit videos. So I'm like all crazy about every time I make a song, I'm already thinking of the video. And obviously there were many things that weird and sad during that year, of course, and for the collective as well. But from a creative point, I was very into the music and just creating and recording and mixing. And I didn't have time to be like, oh, I'm bored and what am I going to do with my life? I was like, no, I'm going to do an EP. I'm just going to go for it.
How did you keep up with the performance during COVID, or were you just writing music?
I was mostly writing music, and I did few online performances. Let's say some people from some venue were doing live streams. So I did that.
Nice. Okay.
With the satellite, I had a live performance. That was very cool, by the way. But it was mostly just recording and making videos. Recording, mixing, making videos, finishing the first, my first baby, which was the EP, which you can listen to it on Bandcamp and all music platforms. And yeah, that was basically it. It takes a lot of time. I was just very focused on that. So
when things started opening up, because I do want to ask about your performance. Obviously, when things are shut down, you can't go to a studio or a warehouse or or unless I've talked to bands where they live close to each other and they were cool with they didn't go out, so they're like, yeah, just come out. We're gonna continue practicing in the garage, stuff like that. How do you, number one, do you figure out what you want to do during your sets? How do you set that up? And then, and not that you have a bunch of choreography, but you're very active.
Yeah.
And the performance part of it is what just brings a whole big picture of Mars Rodriguez. And how do you do that? How do you kind of figure out what the timing is, the pace, all that stuff?
So before being Mars Rodriguez, I've been a front woman, and I think that has helped me to be very crazy. I never think, I don't know if I'm gonna jump, I don't know if I'm gonna go and hug somebody. I don't know.
Because there were bros in the audience and they were into it. They were dancing. I was like, dang, she's got everybody dancing up in here.
Yeah.
Dudes with baseball jerseys and backwards caps. So I was like, what is happening here? But and that was a good night too, just in general with that. I forgot the entity that put it together, but that was
Surge Event.
Thank you, Surge Event. That was a fun shindig. That was a fun night.
Yeah, they're awesome, by the way. Thank you, Surge Event, for always supporting.
So we'll take another break right now because I also want to feature more of her music. Black Summer.
Yeah.
What's this one about?
Black Summer. Okay. Oh my God, it's very personal, but I was living at a person's house and I literally had to move from one day to another. But I was also dating. So it's the chaos and also the beauty of life, whatever. I won't get so deep into the situation. But it was a weird time of my life in 2019. And I had to reroute to find where to live, seriously. So I don't know. You guys listen to it.
Here we go. So that's another thing too. You play with like, okay, so you not only have the like a table full of instruments, the drum machines, the synths, and all that.
Yeah.
But your pedal board is pretty freaking huge as well. It's like,
kind of. I mean, it's not that huge, but like it's basically like a pog, a fuzz, a delay, and a reverb, and an overdrive. That's all. It's like 5. Did I say 5 here? Like 5 or 6. I don't know.
Yeah, and your vocals too. You give them an effect too. You're definitely not using auto-tune. No, it's your voice.
It's my voice. I'm using a delay pedal for the vocals.
Yeah, no, that's interesting too. Like, I love when musicians, singers specifically, do that. To not, they don't use auto-tune. Because like auto-tune just it waters it down a bit, so and you can't really get the effect. But like what's his name, Tom York, he's used weird effects. The Mars Volta, not the Mars Volta, when they were at the drive-in.
Oh, at the drive-in,
he, Cedric had his whole pedal for his vocals. Yeah, Mike Patton does that. Like I love when vocalists do a little bit more with it, and like I appreciate when they like belt out and they sing too. Yeah, but how you do it fills in, fits in with the music. It's and the effect. It sounded like you had a bit of a delay, but it's perfect for what it is, and you don't let the delay drown it out. But it gives an effect when you stop singing. Yeah.
So I use it just a little bit, and even when I like mix and do my own things, I don't use autotune because I don't care about people like listening to the real thing. You might hear my little mistakes, but I'm okay with it. My music is not glossy. It's not this perfect thing. It's pretty raw in some level. Like I'll use, of course, like processed drums and stuff like that, and like maybe like some crazy synthesizers or crazy sounds, but it's not this perfect thing. It has like a feel that it's like, oh, I made this in a very chill way in my room.
it just it just shocks me that you say that you wrote a song like 5 days ago and you performed it that.
Because I get excited whenever I feel a song that is like very important. It was like Black Summer. Yeah. Black Summer, it happened that way. I had to make the drums like crazy, and I started playing it. The first day I started playing it, people were reacting, and I'm like, cool. It was like going somewhere, and obviously I had to like improve things after some shows because I'm learning. I just feel that rush of doing things that I really believe in, and like I just have to do it. There's no logical situation in the process. It's just like go, feel it, go, and try to make it work.
Well, it just shows how also in tune you are to performing too, because it's like if you wrote a song like a week ago, now you're going to perform it on this show that's a few days away.
Yeah.
Like it at least from the outside, you know, you said you make mistakes, but you don't care about it.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't sound like that from our perspective. Which, like I said, it just as a performer, it just goes to show how in tune you know how much you're vibing with that song in particular.
Yeah.
First show I've ever seen you at. I don't know
Yeah,
if it's new
true.
or old or whatever, but it just
Right.
seemed the performance was consistent. You know,
Okay.
in the time you were on stage. So no, that's pretty impressive.
Thanks.
You know what? So you just start plugging stuff in, putting stuff in. That's pretty fun. So
It's been fun. It's been fun as hell, and it's been surprising, you know. But people started reacting, and then I'm like, "Whoa, why are you reacting to this?" Because I have no idea what I'm doing. But then I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna try to get better and trying to fix whatever I have to fix." It's a journey, and that's all. You fall, you get up. You try, you fall, you get up, and that's the thing.
yeah, trial and error. No one's gonna be perfect out of the
Yeah.
gate. It's like, ha, I wrote the perfect song.
Exactly.
And now the world
No,
needs to know. Oh. Well, let's take a really quick break. I'm gonna play another one of your songs, but you're listening to KQBH LP, Los Angeles, California, a community service of Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory, broadcasting live on your FM dial and streaming on lpfm.la. And this next one. Okay, we'll get back to this one, you know, really cool echo guitar song in a while. But first, we're going to play Reality here by Mars Rodriguez, who is in the studio live to talk about what she does on the daily.
I can help you if you won't help yourself. What would you do when there's nothing left? All your friends came and visit your head. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, let me go. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, let me go. I can say that we are okay. Delusional patterns keep you safe. We've been inside for weeks, for days. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, let me go. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, give me more. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, feel more.
Okay, so talking a little off air, you mentioned that you do videos, and I didn't follow up on that. And I was like, you know, I asked you, wait, are they like proper music videos, or you're just like kind of like streaming a live show in your room? And you're like, no, they're full on videos.
No, I mean, they're videos, yeah.
Music videos.
So during 2020, I started filming and like editing, and I don't know, I just got excited with that, and yeah, I pretty much direct my own videos. I've worked in the past also with Ryan Diesenbach. He's the one who taught me how to like edit and all the things. So thank you, dude. Yeah, I know, he's so cool. He was like, you have to learn how to do this yourself, no matter what. So, you know, I'm in the process of keep like upgrading and learning to do it better.
And you know what? A lot of programs too make it so easy too. It wasn't like it was 20 years ago. It's like,
Yeah, for sure.
I plug this into where? You know, it's like, and like you must upload this program for this. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
just help me out, because like I'll just plug into like GarageBand now, and it's like, oh.
No, for sure. And you know what? I prefer editing than filming. I feel that I feel that editing is like mixing. So it's like, oh, what can I do, and like trip here.
So how close is that imagery to what you had in your mind? Because I mean, obviously, when you write a song, you're figuring how you want to arrange it. Like when you said with like Black Summer, that came from somewhere. How do you use that imagery for like a new song that you come up with? Is like, bam, I'm thinking about this now.
Yeah.
Like, same thing about the No Control. It just flows.
But it's pretty much the same. But like I'm a very impulsive human, So whatever I'm feeling in the moment, let's say a song is telling me something, like a color, like I see the colors in the song too. Like some songs have a color and a texture, and I just try to go with that. I wouldn't say that I'm like super specific telling like a full story. I don't feel that I'm telling a full story. At least I haven't done that with my videos, like a full like, oh, this happens here, boom boom. No, I'm not doing like a full script on that. It's more of like a vibe and more of like a color and a texture and like how can I say this? Yeah, like a vibe and a texture and like an aesthetic to whatever I'm trying to express. So that's how far I've gone.
That's funny that you say you bring it up in that way, like color. I'm looking back at stuff that I wrote, and I think the color for all my songs would be gray. It was just gray. Like, and I'm kind of into that too. So
cool. Yeah. For sure.
No, so it's you have a lot going on, and you do a lot with all of your work because you're also you put stuff on Instagram. The imagery there is just quite interesting. Like the show that you had at the Viper Room, you had the two hands and like with the red print.
Yeah.
Is that all you as well?
I did that, and yeah. So I started making flyers because I was getting a lot of shows. So I've always been very visually stimulated, and I know all humans are visually stimulated, but I've always like needed something to like add to my performance and to the music. Like since a month ago, I started making art prints and like selling them. And if you follow me on IG, you can purchase my art prints. I don't know. I love making that. I love making like collages and like glitchy art and like also non-glitchy art. When I'm not doing music, I'm always like doing something with the images. I take a lot of pictures with my cell phone, not always with a camera. Yeah. With my cell phone.
Yeah, I wish I would have had would have been the XL.
I know. I'm going to buy a camera soon, a good camera soon.
It's so good when you know how to use one. But
I know how to use it, but I it's been a journey, and it's been after COVID. We're all trying to go back.
Expensive too.
That's what I'm trying to say. I live on a low budget with my art stuff too, so
yeah, I know.
I'm being very honest here. Yeah. It's very DIY, it's very low budget. Anyways, so sometimes I take pictures with my cell phone, and then I'll just like do like collages. I use Adobe and stuff like that.
Yeah, especially that makes it really fun too, especially for people that don't necessarily are how can I say aren't well versed in like Photoshop. Sorry, I'm thinking about Photoshop, stuff like that. You don't have to get that detailed. There are other programs that make that like just lay it out for you. Hey, you want it a little darker? Here's how you do it. You want it a little bit more red?
Or you learn. Like the cool thing is that we have YouTube. If you want to learn how to do a certain thing, you just go search it.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so blessed that I'm in this era of like internet, dude. Like I can literally just go.
Yeah, this would have helped so much 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. There are no excuses.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I could have done so many cool things in the 90s.
Yeah.
But no. So yeah, we are actually almost out of time here. So before we go, we're going to play one more of your songs. Okay. We have Blues de Abril. And where can people find you on the socials, the music streaming platforms? Lay it all out there.
Okay, so once again, on IG, Facebook, you can find me as Mars Rodriguez _. You can also buy my music on Bandcamp, on Apple Music, also on Spotify. And stay tuned for the album. Stay tuned for new releases. If you want to buy art prints, just go to my Instagram. There's a link, and you just go to my website. So.
Well, thank you for coming on, especially on short notice. We were trying to get you next week, which, by the way, I forgot to announce that next week we have Kurt Barlage, local artist, recently released an EP, and he's going to be on the show next week, Easter show. But heathens like me, it's not normally celebrated. So I will get chocolate candy, though. That I will not be denied. Thank you very much. But yes, he will be here next week. So Mars, thank you so much for coming on. This is great to, like I said, you can listen to the music and you can get, the vibe from the videos and stuff like that. But I want to tell the stories of the artists.
I love
that. So thank you for coming on. And right now, Blues de Abril, here on KQBH, The Conversation.
Where
And I just wanted to say really quickly goodbye. Have a good week to everybody. Thank you to Mars Rodriguez for joining us. Stay tuned for Astro Projecting here on KQBH with Arturo Guzman. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Have a good week, everybody. Oh, yeah, I also wanted to say, too, don't forget, obviously you can listen on 101.5 FM. You can stream on lpfm.la, but get the app. You won't regret it. You can listen to us wherever. It's a great thing about the app. Anyway, good night, everyone.